Hello. We're at Play Music DVD. We're gonna go buy some Blu-rays. Let's take a browse. This is not a family-friendly movie. Hello. I've got me tote bag. This time I've actually been all place, unlike that Criterion Collection video I couldn't fully do, but I still made anyway. But I've still got me tote bag, courtesy of Imprint. So we're going to look at what I got. Some of them you might have already seen in the video, because I might have gone into the store beforehand to make sure that they were there. Hohoi. But I was still planning on potentially doing, like, I'll spend an hour there, hopefully just spend $100. I did that, and then I spent more. So we're going to start with, The Hunger. Yes, this does obviously tell me what the prices are. It was $50, which is... I'm not going to say any of the prices of what I paid for was fantastic, but at the same time, some of these and most of these are uber out of print, so I'm happy to get them in the way I could. And these are really nice editions, and yes, these do peel off. If it helps, because I know a lot of people were really antsy about, like, oh shit, you know, if they're going to put stickers on, you know, physical media, and it's going to be, look at that, look, wow, wow, see? Wow. These actually are really nice stickers. Even the R18 one, even the one they have on the back for the barcode, all easy to take off. I'm going to put this over here. Anyway, The Hunger, the David Bowie film. Same as the regular American Warner Archive version, this is just the British version, which the British ones I think are better because they're in thicker, sturdier cases. They're always double disc sets with DVDs. This only has a special feature of a commentary with Susan Sarandon and director Tony Scott. But you know, it's a hell of a film. We watched this at the Cinemaniacs last year. Rob Povey did the introduction for it, which was really nice. He lovingly spoiled the movie for us. I think he's come to kind of regret that now, but you kind of had to for contextualizing the film, because sometimes you got to actually say, oh yeah, a certain character dies like halfway in for certain reasons. So you get David Bowie, a lot of David Bowie on this release, because David Bowie's in this, same as Catherine Deneuve. I love French names. I'm so good at pronouncing French names. But one of the benefits of a set like this is it comes with this really nice art cards, which I know people don't love. Where's my knife? So when I go to Play Music DVD, I try to find films that are not very common to find just in general. And they still have varying ranges and prices, which is great. Like the section that was actually adjacent to where I got these, like The Hunger and whatnot, had all these $5 to $10 films. They're ones that if they've got like red stickers, you can get them all for as a bundle for like $10 or $20 for getting 3 movies. And those are all like more modern commercial releases, stuff that you would find at regular stores like, you know, your JB Hi-Fis and whatnot. Which is nice, you know, they've got a bunch of imprint stuff. Most of it's on discounted sale anyway. Some of them they do recognize are out of print releases and do, you know, sell a custom, like, to adjust for that, you know, but occasionally I found some that are expensive but I couldn't find anywhere else, or if I looked up online I couldn't find them for a better price. So occasionally you'll find a rare gem, like I found Come Back to the Five and Dime Jimmy Dean from Eureka, which had an exclusive commentary by a friend of mine, Lee Gambin, and I had been looking for that for a while, and it was nowhere to be found, and they just happen to have it in store, because not everything's on their website. That's probably my main criticism, is that not everything is on their website. To be fair, though, they do get a lot of things in, so they're not able to list absolutely every single thing that they do, but at the same time, you can also, if they do have stuff online, you can order it in. You can actually get it delivered, which is wonderful. It's great that they actually do that. It's not just, you can only pick it up in person. A second one is also on the same bar. We have Clash of the Titans, same $50 price tag, which I know, woof. I'm well aware of the fact that these prices are a little gargantuan. I already had this film. I just wanted this particular release of it, because I adore this film, and I will probably give the previous Blu-ray that I have to a friend of mine who likes Ray Harryhausen films, and I'd bought them a bunch of Ray Harryhausen films for their birthday last year. Ironically, so that they're partners, so then we ended up donating the set that I'd bought for a Cinemaniacs thing. Either way, this is a stunning film. Really does need a 4K release. I've never liked the fact that this is called like Premium Collection, because it's like, It's really not. It's the exact same as the US equivalent. It just happens to be a bit chunkier. Again, a nice sleeve, and we all like our sleeves with some really nice, beautiful artwork. Its emphasis on Medusa is fucking beautiful. But it does come with a conversation with Ray Harryhausen and Myths and Monsters Gallery, which I've watched on my previous Blu-ray. It's not insanely in-depth. It basically just has a whole selection of some of the creatures and gives you, like, brief little explanations as to what they are, whilst giving you a bit of footage. It's not fantastic. The one they did on Medusa was nice, but the rest of them were, you know, very hit or miss. Either way, you get your DVD and your Blu-ray. There's some artwork on the inside as well, which is the Kraken attacking with Pegasus and, you know, Perseus as well. And the creme de la creme of the set is a nice, nifty little booklet, which showcases, again, further artwork, as well as just a general gist of, hey, look, let's talk about the movie. And it's a pretty thick booklet going through the film, its production and everything, talking about the cast, showing a bunch of images, and then it just talks about each character individually, which is really great. Look at Laurence Olivier's Zeus, or that whole block of text just for Zeus. Maggie Smith as well. A lot of great actors in this film. It's probably one of those... I feel like it's one of the first examples of getting like a great cast, and Harryhausen, of course, the genius he was, grabbing a great cast of faces and putting them as the gods, because they've only got minimal screen time, but it like props up like the value of the film. I love how they have these behind the scenes images just for Medusa, because I love the Medusa creature in this film. And then of course it gives you the creatures. You got Bubo, you got Pegasus, and Dioskilos, Medusa, of course, with just, I fucking love Medusa. Kraken. I love how they don't call it the Kraken, it's just Kraken. You get Calibos, you got Charon, and you get the Scorpions. And then some more images for the film, and like, you know, production stuff and whatever, and a bunch of trivia as well. It's a really nice booklet, an alternate poster as well, and that's the whole set. Again, fucking amazing. And because I really like these films, and I did previously already have Clash of the Titans, it's just really nice to have a better version of what I have, mostly as a physical essence. And again, we're all collectors here. If you're going to go to a store like Play Music DVD, you're going to notice that some films are going to be quite expensive, and others are not going to be quite expensive. I personally don't buy Criterions from them, mostly because I can always get them a lot cheaper elsewhere, but at the same time, there's always going to be pros and cons with a store like Play Music DVD. You know, the people are great. It's nice to see the kind of variety that they have. I sometimes use it as like a window shopping thing. I'll buy a thing or two, even if it's really cheap or if it's really expensive, but then I might find other things that I'd like, and then just kind of, you know, keep them in mind for later, or I, you know, just been like, oh, this is a great version of this, but I could find it cheaper online. It depends. The third and final one, because I only got 3 in the end because it was expensive, and I'll show you why, because it means a lot, and I've really, really appreciated finding so many films at Play Music DVD for this exact reason. Oh, it's the J-card's tearing. I gotta take this J-card off. Cujo. This was $149.95. Very expensive. And super out of print. They even note that it's out of print on the top there, which is good. I like that they do that, because obviously you'd be like, oh, well, you know, I gotta also be careful because that's tearing, so I gotta take this J-card off. This is a very old release of Cujo. Not very old, but old enough. This is the kind of set where it's worth the value, and it's one of the burdens of a physical media collector, of being a physical media collector, is the fact that you'll be looking for out-of-print releases that are going to cost quite a lot. And I did look at comparisons online, usually eBay Marketplace, and they were going between the $150 to $200 range, and most of them, actually all of them, were outside of Australia, so they would have cost even more because of, you know, taxes and extra fees and whatnot for shipping and all that. So, this was a justifiable purchase for one reason alone, and that's just the bonus disc, because this is the limited edition version of Cujo from Eureka, the J-card I've put down there because it was tearing. This comes with a really nice booklet, which features Don't Blame the Dog, Cujo versus the Nuclear Family by Craig Ian Mann. It comes with a few essays. as the J card refers to. It has a limited edition 60-page perfect bound book featuring new writing on the film by Craig Ian Mann and author Scott Harrison, and an extract from Nope, Nothing Wrong Here, The Making of Cujo by Lee Gambin, illustrated with rare archival imagery from the film's production, archival poster gallery, reversible sleeve artwork by Justin Osborne, and original poster art. So this is one of the benefits of getting this, is to get the extra booklet, to get the extra essays where you get, again, different posters, you get viewing stuff and everything. That one's amazing. I imagine a lot of these are in Lee's book, because Lee did do a book, obviously, on Cujo, which this has a featured extract from. I do have the previous Kino, I think it's Kino, the 4K UHD, which ported over a lot of the special features in terms of commentary and just interviews and stuff that this release already had, which is the reason I never got the original version of the Eureka release. So this is the extract, including the image from Lee's book, and then the rest of it's just images and the other essays, which is nice. It's just good, you know? Get a good variety of stuff, as noted there. Now, when I found this, I was not really going to buy it. I was just like, oh, Cujo, the limited edition is there. Yeah, whatever. I've already got the 4K. But I like looking at the ones that they have that I know that Lee worked on. Because, again, when he had passed away, I did a lot of work to find every single film that he'd worked on and to buy every single film that he'd worked on. And some of them have multiple releases, multiple variations. Again, I bought the 4K again of Cujo from Kino because it had his commentary and it had all the previous stuff and it had a new 4K scan and all that stuff, whereas this release didn't have that 4K scan. But what I didn't know, at least from the standard release, it didn't have the new 4K scan, whatever. What I didn't know is that this limited edition release came with a bonus disc. Now, the bonus disc actually says that it has a Q&A with Dee Wallace from Cinemaniacs and Monster Fest 2015, moderated by Lee Gambin, which is 96 minutes long. Other websites will say it's roughly 100 minutes, but still. New interview with critic and author Kim Newman. So it has two whole extra things. It's basically a whole 2 hours worth of stuff about the film on a second disc. And of course, that's what makes this set so important, because that is super rare. Because of course, there's the first disc, which is great, has the film, has all the previous special features, including, as it stipulates, a new and exclusive feature-length commentary by Lee Gambin, which was ended up porting over to the US release. But then again, new interviews of Dee Wallace and the composer, and with a stuntman, Gary Morgan, and a stunt woman, and interviews upon interviews upon interviews upon interviews, and the original archival documentary, Dog Days, The Making of Cujo, which is on basically every single Cujo release that you can get. But it's just the second disc, which actually aligns with the artwork below it. And it's literally why I spent all this money, is to get this one release. I wanted to see if any other release, I looked it up, does any other release have this special feature? And it doesn't. And I didn't realize that it had this special feature that Lee worked on, and that he's there talking to Dee Wallace. Like, I've known about this panel for years now, because a lot of Cinemaniacs people I know had gone to it, and, you know, even I featured in my interview with Emma Westwood, she had a signed autograph from Dee Wallace because she was there, so she got to meet her, and a bunch of people got to meet her and got to get autographs and everything. And that's awesome, because I didn't know about the Cinemaniacs till, like, about 3 years later, which sucks on my part, because that would have been amazing to go to, but now I have it as a physical copy, and as someone, again, who's been adamantly collecting all these things that Lee worked on, and the fact that I've found so many at Play Music DVD, all secondhand or new, but then out of plastic, because a lot of the stuff they take out of plastic. Some of it's still in plastic, actually. I found a bunch of limited editions from Arrow that were still in plastic, which is amazing. I didn't care to buy anything else, as you saw, but this is already pretty pricey. The fact that I found so many of these older releases is just a wonderful thing, and it's just really nice to have that in, like, the back of my pocket in a way. And I mostly stipulate that, again, because I was looking for all these releases that Lee worked on, and they've still got ones that have limited edition essays that Lee had, including, like, there was an Ironweed release from Eureka, there's a bunch of Kino Lorber releases, like the Chicken Chronicles, which is a commentary track, but, like, all of those, and some of those are out of print now and whatever. But they've got a good variety of stuff at Play Music, and again, it depends on your taste, it depends on what you want. They've got different sections from comedy to horror to action, different labeled selections from Criterion to Kino to Warner Archive to, there's a whole Asian selection, there's a whole imprint selection, there's anime, there's British cinema, there's cult cinema, there's horror, there's technically porn, right at the very corner of the horror section. Most of it's, you know, softcore, whatever, say like Tinto Brass films and whatever. Most of it artistic, but sometimes Debbie Dallas 2 is there, so, you know, it depicts your fancy. All kinds of different boutique labels, but they've also got CDs and vinyl as well, though I've never deliberately bought any CDs and vinyl because I'm usually much more particular about what CDs I buy, and vinyl I don't really dive into vinyl too much. But it's just great. It's great to have a store that you can just go to in the city and just buy stuff there. Again, you have to have the mindset of this stuff's going to be expensive because there's going to be stuff that's going to be great that's expensive and stuff that's going to be great that's going to be cheap. And I found things that were important and valuable to me that were really, really low price. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, I can get those for 10 to 20 bucks. But then there was stuff I really wanted that, you know, the Come to the Five and Dime was 80 bucks. I'm like, look, I'll take it because I've not found this anywhere and I've been looking for months. So sometimes you just gotta do it. Depending on, again, how much energy and, you know, love and hate you want to put into this kind of thing. But nevertheless, I had a really fun time just hanging out, just going there. I went there with my partner, so she filmed the extra shots of me and whatnot, which was nice. But yeah, it's just always nice. I haven't been there for a couple of months. Yeah, I think maybe 2 or 3 months now, because I get so busy now working on weekends that I never get the chance to head in there. And also because I've been dealing with just other financial things that I was like, I'll wait till I get a good day that I can just go in and just spend a bit. And I was happy, even with it being more than $100. It was $250 in the end, but that's fine, you know? So, yeah. Look, again, I know people are going to be critical of the prices, but that's just how it goes. I just happened to pick ones that were not cheap, but that was deliberate. These were ones that I wanted to get, and I'm happy to have gotten them for their exclusive features and stuff. So it just rounds it out really nicely. If I hadn't have noticed that they had Cujo there, I wouldn't have bought Cujo. I would have bought something else for not as much of a price. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. It's the joy of physical media collecting, of just knowing that shit's gonna be expensive. So yeah, at least it's not shoes. You know, I can watch this stuff. I'm not spending $2,000 on a pair of shoes that I'm not going to wear, kind of deal, you know? I don't know why I'm picking on shoes, but still. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're in Melbourne, of course, feel free to check out Play Music DVD. I'll leave a link to their website down below. Also, if you're just in Australia and you want to get certain imports from them, they're down there as well. This isn't sponsored at all. I only messaged them the day of that I was coming by just to give them some notice. They're like, hey, just in case you don't want me to film. But they were nice, they were cool, they were like, as long as it doesn't affect the other people that are buying stuff, and there was obviously still other people there, so we just filmed in and out of people being there. I didn't want to be like a dick and be like, hey, this is my time to shine, because I don't go to brick and mortar stores and film stuff there. It feels weird. I don't like doing that. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, because I just figured, hey, this at least would be fun, because I can buy some really fun, you know, different types of films, and also, you know, they're nice to chat with, and it's just cool to see the different kinds of people who will go and buy stuff there. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all. See you guys next time. Adios.